The air is cold, not normal cold, the kind that presses against your skin, like something is breathing on you. A dim, flickering headlamp cuts through the darkness of the abandoned mine tunnels beneath Jerome, Arizona. The walls drip with old water, carrying the smell of rust and dusted earth. Someone is running. Their footsteps slap the stone floor. Breath, shaky, desperate, echoes down the tunnel. No, 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 please, please. We don't see their face yet, just the trembling light bouncing with every step. Behind them, another sound emerges. Not footsteps, not breathing, dragging. Something metallic, long scraping across the stone floor, slowly, patiently. The runner glances back. The headlamp catches just a fraction of movement, a shoulder, a shadow, or something that wasn't shaped like a person at all. The tunnel lights above flicker, then stop. Everything turns black except the faint cone of the headlamp. Silence, then a whisper. So close, so terrifyingly close. Stay. The runner gasps and scrambles forward, boots slipping on loose gravel. The tunnel suddenly narrows, walls closing in like they're breathing. They fall to their knees. Fall to their knees. The headlamp flickers. Finally, we hear them choke out. You followed us. You found us. As if the mine itself is listening. A drip of water echoes. Then the sound of many voices whispering at once. Layered, repeating, overlapping like broken radio static. Find us. Stay with us. Don't go. The ground shifts. There is a deep rumble. The stone beneath their feet gives way. They fall. Not fast, but like the darkness is pulling them down slowly, like hands grasping their clothing, their arms, their hair. The headlamp slips from their grip, falling through the black, spinning, brief flashes of stone walls, something pale reaching from inside the rock. Then the lamp hits the ground. Crack. The light flickers its last breath. We hear only breathing, shallow, terrified. Then, a voice, clear and right next to the listener's ear. We see you now. The story shifts back in time. Before the chase, before the darkness, before the whispering voices. Narration begins. The desert highway winds like a dry, cracked ribbon. The sun is low, painting the sky in burnt orange and violet. A dusty SUV crawls up the steep mountain road toward Jerome, Arizona. A town stacked on the cliffs, like it's afraid of falling. Inside the car, Mara drives, early 30s, focused eyes, camera equipment piled in the back. She's a documentary filmmaker, fascinated with places people avoid. Next to her, leaning back casually, is Eli, mid-30s, skeptical, logical, always ready to explain away anything as supernatural. He holds a coffee cup and smirks. Eli light laugh. The most haunted town in America? Population, what, 4 ghosts and a gift shop? Mara doesn't laugh. She watches the road carefully. Mara, people come here and don't leave, Eli. They disappear. That's history, not superstition. The car climbs higher. Below them, a drop so steep it makes your stomach tighten just looking at it. Jerome appears slowly. Crooked streets, leaning wooden buildings, rust-colored roofs. A place that looks like it's holding onto the mountain by stubborn memory. The wind whistles through alleys and old mining equipment, as if saying old names. They stop near an old boarding house turned in. The sign hangs crooked, the paint faded. On the porch sits old Joe, gray beard, miner's jacket, hands calloused like carved stone. He watches them approach without smiling. Mara offers a warm greeting. Mara, we're filming a historical documentary about the mine collapse, the disappearances. Old Joe cuts in quietly, voice deep and steady. Old Joe, history doesn't stay in the ground here, not in Jerome. Eli raises an eyebrow, amused. Eli, so you believe in ghosts? Old Joe looks at Eli with eyes that have seen too much. Old Joe, believe? I've worked down in those tunnels. I've heard the men that didn't make it out, still swinging pickaxes. Don't matter if you believe. They believe in you. A long silence. The wind whistles through a broken window. Mara shivers without understanding why. They check into the old boarding house. Wooden floors creak, wallpaper peeling, old photographs on the walls. Miners posing proudly, their eyes strangely dull, like something was missing behind them. Mara sets her camera bag down. Eli looks around, unimpressed. Eli, it's perfect, old, creaky, probably mold. Jump scares write themselves. Mara ignores him, drawn toward one old photograph of the mine entrance. Men standing in a row, but one figure in the back appears blurred, like it was moving while the photo was taken. She touches the frame. The glass feels ice cold. Evening falls, the sun sets fast. Shadows stretch long across the streets. The town becomes too quiet, only the sound of distant wind, and a faint metallic echo far down the mountain. Old Joe can be seen outside, lighting a lantern. He looks up at them with a heavy seriousness. Old Joe, if you hear whistling, don't follow it. No, follow it, and don't whistle back. That's how they know where you are. Eli laughs, but softly this time. Mara doesn't laugh at all. She notices something. The night sky is black, not a single star, as if something is blocking them. This is where the story truly begins, where curiosity starts to become danger. Night settles across Jerome like a blanket no one asked for. The streets are empty. The boarding house sits silent under the mountain's shadow. Inside, Mara and Eli sort through footage from the day. The old wooden floor creaks, but neither of them moved. Scene begins. The clock on the wall ticks softly. Mara reviews mine entrance footage on her laptop. Eli leans back on the bed, scrolling his phone, unimpressed. Eli, nothing, just dust, crickets, and your dramatic zooms. Mara rolls her eyes, but she's focused on something. A single frame, a shadow standing behind them in the mine, watching. She rewinds, pauses, zooms in. The shadow has shoulders, a neck, and a helmet, but no face. Mara sits up straighter. Mara sits up straighter. Mara quiet. Someone was there. Eli glances over but shrugs. Eli, I could have been a tourist, or old Joe creeping around, but Mara's voice is tight now. Mara. No, it was behind us. Deep inside the restricted section, a silence grows between them. The boarding house awakens, a sound echoes from the hallway. Footsteps, slow, methodical, one step at a time. Mara freezes. Eli stops breathing. The hallway is completely dark. Eli whispering, maybe another guest. Mara shakes her head. They are the only ones staying here. The footsteps stop just outside their door. Mara reaches for the doorknob. Eli grabs her wrist. Well, I don't. The doorknob on its own turns only a fraction. Then stops. No one pushes the door open. Instead, something whistles, soft, faint, like someone humming a tune they barely remember. A child's lullaby, broken, off-key. Whistle, where Isteli. Mara's breath shakes. Eli finally whispers, Eli, that's not the wind. The whistling cuts off instantly. Like it hurt him, the camera trigger. Mara fumbles for her camera, flips it on. The night vision beam spills green light into the hallway. Nothing. The hallway is empty. But the floorboards dip, as if someone is standing there unseen. Eli steps forward. Bang! A door at the far end of the hallway slams shut so hard the walls shake. Mara jumps. Eli curses under his breath. Then silence again. The town's breath. They race outside for air. The night air is cold. Too cold. Like winter in the middle of desert summer. The entire town looks asleep, but not peaceful. More like it's holding its breath. The wind carries something again. A distant sound coming from below the cliffs. Chains. Metal striking rock. Pickaxes. Mara's voice is barely a whisper. Mara! Old Joe said the miners kept working. Eli shakes his head too fast. Eli. Echoes. Sound reflections. Science. but his voice betrays him. He's afraid now. The child's laughter, a new sound cuts through the silence. A laugh, a child's laugh. But it echoes from the abandoned cemetery just downhill. Eli steps back toward the door. Eli, no, we are not investigating that. Nope. Mara, trembling but drawn forward, whispers, Mara, I think this town knows we're here. The whistling returns. Closer, right behind them. Cut scene. Morning should have come, but instead the world is gray. Dim light filters through the curtains like dawn almost arrived, but never finished. Mara awakens first. The clock says 6:14 am, but there are no birds, no sunlight, no warmth. The town outside looks frozen, still. Eli is sitting at the edge of the bed, shoes on, silent. He hasn't slept. Eli quiet, strained. He kept hearing it, the whistling, all night, right outside the door. Mara doesn't answer. She already knows. Attempt to leave, they throw their bags together fast. Cameras, clothes, keys, everything. They rush outside. The SUV is parked exactly where they left it. Mara gets in, turns the key. The engine sputters. Click, click, silence. Eli tries. Nothing. Not even a sound this time. Eli voice shaking. No. The battery was fine. I checked it before we came up. Mara tries to call for help. No signal. No service. No Wi-Fi. Not even emergency calls. Like the town is sealed off. She tries to record a message for later. Her phone refuses to open the camera app. Black screen. Frozen. The town watches. They begin walking down the street. But something is wrong. Windows are open. Curtains sway. But no one is inside. No voices. No footsteps. No cars. No dogs. The whole town feels like it stopped living. Eli knocks on a shop door. No answer. Knocks harder. Glass cracks slightly. He steps back, startled. Mara, let's go find old Joe. Old Joe. They walk to the miner's shack where he sat last night. The chair is still rocking from wind. But he's not there. Instead, on the porch, an old miner's helmet, covered in fresh dust. And beside it, a child's shoe. Mara kneels and picks it up with shaking hands. Eli whispers, we need to get off this mountain. Now! The road out, they follow the winding road they drove up last night, but after walking 10 minutes, they recognize a building. The same leaning saloon, the same broken street lantern. They are back in town. Eli stops, breathing hard. Eli, we turned around. We must have. They try again. Walk faster. Do not look back. The air gets colder. When they finally stop to catch breath, they are standing in front of the boarding house. Again, exactly where they started. This time, the front door is open, swinging, inviting. Mara steps backward. Eli grabs her hand. His voice breaks. Eli, Mara, there is no way out. Mara begins to cry. Not loud but silent, shaking tears. The wind carries a sound again. Not whistling, not chains. This time, voices, low, many, layered, whispering the same word, stay. The boarding house door slams shut. The sound echoes through the entire dead town. This is the moment they understand. They are not visitors anymore. They are claimed. Jerome has noticed them, and it does not let go. The sky is still that same dim gray, like the world is stuck just before morning, refusing to move forward. Mara and Eli return to the boarding house, but neither one wants to go inside. The door creaks open on its own. The inside is darker than before. Not just dim, dark like something is drawing the light in. Tension rises. Eli lights a lantern they found earlier in the hall. The flame flickers, never stable. Mara tries to stay focused, camera in hand. Mara, we're documenting this. That's the only thing we can do. If someone finds the footage, her voice cracks. Eli soft. Mara, no one is going to find anything. She lowers the camera. The fear finally shows in her eyes. But before either can speak again, a floorboard upstairs creaks. Once, Then again, slow, heavy, like footsteps. Eli turns toward the staircase. Eli, someone's here. Mara grabs his arm. Mara, Eli don't, but he pulls away because he hears something, a voice, soft, familiar, his name, whisper from upstairs. Eli, not calling, not threatening, just sad. Eli's eyes soften. Eli, I know that voice. Mara's breath catches. Mara, Eli, who do you hear? Eli doesn't answer. He starts up the stairs. Every step groans. Mara follows, whispering desperate warnings. Mara, oh, don't follow it. Eli, please. It's not real, but Eli is already at the top. The door there is one door at the end of the hallway. It wasn't there yesterday. Old wood, black handle, air cold and heavy around it. The voice comes again. Voice clearer. Eli, help me. Eli's filled with tears. Eli broken. Dad? Mara freezes. She knows that voice cannot be real. Eli's father died in a mining accident years ago. But grief has a way of blinding. Eli reaches for the handle. Mara grabs him, whispering through tears. Mara, Eli, please. That's not him. That's them. He turns to her. And for a moment, he's the Eli she knows. Scared. Human. Trying to understand. Eli, if he's in there, I have to try. He opens the door. The room inside is nothing. Just an empty dark room, cold as a grave. A single mining lantern sits on the floor. It flickers to life on its own, illuminating. A figure, not standing, hanging from the rafters. A man in tattered miner's clothes, face shadowed, neck limp, feet dangling inches above the ground. Eli steps forward, choking on a sob. Eli, Dad? The body twitches. The head lifts. The face is wrong, stretched. Empty eye sockets. Jaw hanging open too wide. And from that open mouth, the whistling begins. High, piercing, right in front of them. Mara screams. Mara, Eli, run! But it's too late. The floor beneath Eli collapses. He drops through the boards into darkness. Mara lunges toward the hole, screaming his name, reaching, but there is nothing to grab. Only black, deep, silent. Then, from the darkness below, Eli's voice. But not screaming, not calling, just whispering, the same word the mine spirits used. Mara collapses to the floor, sobbing, and the figure hanging above her slowly fades. Like smoke being pulled backward into the dark. The lantern goes out. Silence. This is the first true loss. Eli is gone, or worse, claimed, and Mara is now alone. The town is still, soundless, like everything is holding its breath. Mara sits on the floor near the shattered hole where Eli fell. Her hands shake. Her voice is gone. Her eyes are empty, but she is not broken. Not yet. She wipes her tears and stands. Minds. She takes Eli's backpack. She takes 2 flashlights. She takes the camera. And she whispers, Mara, I'm not leaving you. Not like this. She steps out into the open street. Jerome has changed the town. No longer looks like it did yesterday. Buildings lean at impossible angles. Windows are blacked out. How? Street lamps flicker even though the power shouldn't be on. Shadows move where light should be still. The mine entrance at the edge of town sits open, as if waiting for her, like a mouth. Mara stands before it. The darkness feels alive. A faint sound drifts up from the deep tunnels. Chains clanking. Pickaxes striking stone. Men still working, decades after death. And beneath all of it, she hears Eli's voice, so quiet, so distant. Eli echoing. Mara, come down, her breath trembles. But she goes in. Inside the halls of the dead, the mine swallows her. The air is colder here. Dust hangs in the beam of her flashlight. The silence is thick, until tap, tap. The sound of picks striking stone grows clearer. Mara turns a corner and freezes. Miners, rows of them, or what's left of them. Spines bent, skin pale, faces sunken, hands moving slowly, endlessly, chipping stone that crumbles into nothing. They don't breathe. They don't blink. They just work. As if they don't know they're dead. Mara clutches her chest, fighting the urge to scream. Mara whispering to herself, Eli, please be alive. Please be alive. Please. One miner stops. He turns his head toward her. Bones crack as he rotates. His jaw hangs open, wider than humanly possible. He whistles, soft, calling, summoning. The others stop working, all of them. Slowly they turn. All their empty eyes face her. The whistle grows louder and louder and louder. Mara runs. The voice in the dark, the tunnels twist. Close, suffocating. Her flashlight flickers. She hears Eli again, closer this time. Eli weak, echoing. Mara, down here she reaches a narrow passage, barely wide enough to squeeze through. As she moves, hands, cold, unseen hands, brush her shoulders, her back, her hair. The mine is alive. Breathing, she emerges into a deep chamber, and there she sees him. Eli, he sits against the far stone wall, his clothes ripped, dust covering him, but he's breathing. Mara runs to him, drops to her knees, grabs his face. Mara crying, Eli, Eli, please look at me. His eyes open slowly. They look wrong, too dark, like something is watching through them. But he smiles, a soft, too calm smile. Eli, you came back. Mara hugs him, shaking, relief flooding her. But as she holds him, she realizes he's cold. Not cold like fear, cold like stone. Her eyes widen. Mara, terrified, whisper, Eli, what did they do to you? His smile doesn't fade. Eli, voice echoing slightly, they showed me the truth. Deep in the shadows behind him, faces begin to appear. Dozens, then hundreds. Miners, children, families. All watching, all whispering. Voices overlapping, layered. Stay with us. Don't go. Eli lifts a hand and touches her cheek. His voice breaks, almost human again. Eli whisper, I don't want to be alone down here. Mara's heart shatters. This is still him, and not him. She backs away slowly. Mara sobbing. I'm so sorry. Eli reaches toward her, but the spirits pull him backward, deeper into the mine. He doesn't scream, he just whispers, Eli, Mara, please, and disappears into the dark. Mara collapses, screaming his name, voice echoing through the tunnels. The mine answers by closing behind him, stone ceiling, like he never existed. Mara is now completely alone, trapped underground, surrounded by spirits, and grief is the only thing keeping her alive. Mara stands alone now. Her clothes are torn, her skin is streaked with coal dust, her hands shake with exhaustion and grief, but her eyes, they burn, not with fear anymore, with refusal, with rage. Mara, whispering to herself, if the mine wants me, it can try. She wipes her tears, grips the flashlight, and moves deeper. Not to run, not to hide, to understand. The forbidden chamber, the air changes as she descends. It's warmer, wet. The walls glisten like they're sweating. The stone looks almost like flesh. Her light shakes as she walks, illuminating strange carvings etched into the walls. Symbols resembling eyes, a circular pattern like a pit or mouth, human silhouettes. Bowing, this mine was not just a workplace. It was a temple, entrance, a place where the town didn't accidentally awaken something. They fed it, willingly, for prosperity, for wealth, for miracles. Jerome was built on sacrifice. The whispering core Mara enters the deepest chamber. The ground pulses beneath her boots, slow, rhythmic like a heartbeat. The walls throb faintly, and in the center, a massive cavity that descends into pure darkness. A hole so deep it swallows the beam of her flashlight. This is where the dead go. Where Eli was taken, a voice rises from the pit. But it is not Eli's voice. It is many voices, layered, stacked, woven into one. The mine, hollow, inhuman. Stay, and we will ease your pain. The walls begin to whisper around her, like they're breathing in her ear. She presses her hands over her ears, shaking, Mara shouting, Give him back. The whisper stops. For a moment, silence. Then, the mine. He is part of us now. Mara falls to her knees, grief hitting like a physical force. The choice's shape begins to rise from the pit. Slow. Silent. Eli. But not Eli. His body is intact, but wrong. His skin is pale stone. His eyes are empty black voids. His voice is layered with dozens of others. Eli. Stay with me. Mara steps toward him, her heart cracking open. She wants nothing more in the universe than to hold him again. But then she sees something, a chain, around his ankle, thin, rusted, leading back into the darkness of the pit. He's not free. He's a lure, a trap. The mine is using him. Mara's breathing slows. Her tears fall. Silently, she speaks softly. Mara, I love you. I always will. She touches his face, not with fear, but with goodbye. Then she does something the mind does not expect. She steps back, turns, and runs. The mine awakens, the walls groan. The chamber shakes. The ground begins to collapse. The mine doesn't want to lose her. Corpses stir in the tunnels. Her reach from the walls. Footsteps echo behind her. Mara runs, faster than she ever has. Her flashlight beam swings wildly. The tunnels twist, collapse, shift. The mine is trying to swallow her. She sees the faint outline of daylight ahead. She sprints, lungs burning, tears blurring her vision. Behind her, Eli echoing farther and farther. Mara, wait, she screams back, voice shredded. Mara, I can't stay. The entrance narrows behind her, but she dives through, rolling out into the cold night air. She hits the dirt, gasps, coughs. The mine seals shut behind her, silent again, as if it was never open. Mara escaped, but at a cost that will never heal. The town is dead. The mine is alive. Eli is gone, but not gone. And Mara now carries the truth the town erased for generations. Mara made it out of the mine, but the world does not feel saved. The sky is still dim, even though it should be morning. The wind is still silent. The town behind her is still watching. She begins walking down the mountain road, and this time it doesn't loop. She makes it to the highway. A passing truck slows when the driver sees her, shaking, dusty eyes wide like an animal that's seen something no human should. He takes her to the nearest hospital. She doesn't speak the entire drive, not because she refuses, but because there are no words for what she has seen. Days later, Mara sits in a small guest bedroom at her sister's house. Clean clothes, warm food, blankets, a locked door. She should feel safe, but she doesn't sleep, not really, whenever her eyes begin to close. She hears it, whistling, soft, almost tender, like someone trying to call her home. She tells herself it's just grief, just trauma, just memory, but she knows better. The photograph one night, while scrolling through her phone, she notices something, a picture she doesn't remember taking, a picture of the mine entrance, taken from inside the darkness. Looking out, she feels cold. Then her phone buzzes, a new voicemail notification, no caller ID. She hesitates, then presses play. Static. Then Eli's voice, barely above a whisper. Mara. Her heart stops. Oh, you left me. She throws the phone onto the floor, hands over her ears, tears streaming silently. But the voice continues, except it's coming from the closet, not the phone. The closet door. She stares. Her breathing becomes shallow. The door is closed, but something is standing behind it. The shadow under the door shifts, slow, methodical, like something very patient is waiting. Her voice trembles. Mara, please, don't. Silence. Then a soft knock. Once, twice, 3 times. The exact rhythm Eli used whenever he came home late, so he wouldn't wake her. Her knees buckle. The final whisper, the room goes still. No moonlight, no sound, just darkness. And then, with heartbreaking softness, Eli through the door. You don't have to be alone anymore. Just open the door. Mara's tears fall like rain. Her hand reaches, shaking, closer, closer to the doorknob. The audience never sees whether she opens it. The screen fades to black. When the person you love most calls your name from the other side of the dark. Do you open the door? Would you? Would you have the courage to leave them there forever? Or would you? Look.